Okay, you are going to be creating a self-portrait with a name Zentangled together. Now, in the lockdown, you created nameplates using Zentangle patterns. We are going to do something similar but incorporate a portrait, which we also did using tea or coffee. You're basically putting the two things together. Now, what you need to note is that you are going to take your page, and I'm going to zoom in now, and what I want you to do is thinking about proportions of the face. You are going to be drawing half of your face and then including your name Zentangle as well. So basically, you need to think, I'm going to do this in green, that you are using a pencil, and when you are drawing on the middle line, you've got to think where that head would be if it was directly halfway. So you would have your neck and your shoulders, but because we are only drawing on half of our page, you are only going to be considering the half of your face. Now, what that means is when you do think about proportions of the face, and anything I'm doing in green is going to not actually be your picture, but is just there for a guideline. Now remember, proportions of the face, you need to take into account where your eyebrows would be, where your nose would be, where your mouth would be, and then where your eyes would be. Remember that from your eyebrow to the bottom of your nose is pretty much where your ear is going to sit, and your mouth would be in the halfway mark between the bottom third that we've divided up there. Now, when you do draw half your face, you need to consider that you're drawing half a nose, half a mouth, one eye, and one eyebrow. So if we start with our eyebrow, and I'm going to zoom in here, you would go down into the bridge of your nose. Remember, you would have the end of your nose over here. Depending on what type of nose you are drawing, you would draw your detail, your nostril, everything else there. So what you would need to consider is you're going to draw your nostril and the edge of your nose, go up into that eyebrow. After you have your nose and the bridge of your nose as well, you would then be drawing that eyebrow. Remember, they do connect, so you can feel your eyebrow connected to your nose. You would then draw an eyeball. Remember, an eye is almost a leaf shape. You could, if you wanted to, include an eyelid on top. And then the other thing to think about is to make your eye look realistic. I almost use a curly cut or a moon or crescent moon pattern and leave a little bit of a white mark inside to make it look real. I'm just going to build up my eyelid over here, and you could, if you wanted to, include eyelashes. Okay, the other thing you would need to think about, let me just draw my outline here, and my ear, is the half a mouth. So because you have your halfway mark, remember we'd have a cupid's bow, and then you would have your mouth over here. If you wanted, you could do a cutesy cheek, and then don't forget your hair. So decide what type of hair you're going to have and include that in your picture. Okay, you also need to think about what you would be wearing and a pattern on what that is that you're wearing. After you have your half a portrait sorted, remembering to think about proportions of a face, which I've just discussed, you will then be mapping out your name. Now, anything I do in green, I'm imagining is a pencil. So what I would do is thinking of a longer name, who has a long name. When we make up a name, for example, Michelle, using your pencil, you would write out the name first. And because we're doing it in pencil, you're going to be writing very lightly. If you wanted, you could start small and get bigger, but using that pencil, we're only mapping out very lightly what we want to then bubble later. So once I have my name, I would then take a Koki or a pencil when you're ready, and you would go into that letter and you would bubble around your pencil. So that is how I do block letters. I'm sure you can do them much better, and because I'm on an iPad, it's a little difficult doing it with my finger, but you get the drift of how I'm going around each one to make it a bubbled letter. You are then going to, after you have all of your letters mapped out, you are then going to decide on a pattern in the background. So the one picture I'm going to show you, I've done bubbles in the background. You might decide to do something else. Maybe you really like ice creams and you want to include a whole bunch of ice creams and make that your pattern. So you might have some ice creams coming behind here or over here. You might have pizza in your background. You can actually come up with anything. I want you to repeat whatever object or thing you come up with so it becomes a pattern. Now, that's exactly what a pattern is, when something is repeated. And again, mine's not looking that great because I'm using an iPad. But once you have decided on the object that you're going to repeat, you would then take your pencil and section off areas in your background that you can do different patterns, Zentangle patterns, into that background. Now, if you think of your nameplate that you already did, you know how to do Zentangle patterns, but these are going to be black and white patterns showing a lot of contrasting between the black and the white. Now, I'm going to use pink. If you, for example, did lines with black and white lines in this section over here, you would then add color to your name. So this would be black and white, and where I have blue, this would be your color section. And I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about over here. What I want you to look at is the fact that I have included bubbles over here for my pattern, and I've repeated cooler colors. In my name, I've done color as well, so that we have a contrasted black and white pattern background. We have color in our name, color in the object that you created a pattern with, and then the other thing is color in your self-portrait. Now, please make sure that when you do your skin color, you're not just picking either a brown pencil or a peachy tone pencil. I want you to get different tones into your skin. So have a look at what your skin looks like. If you do have a darker brown skin, think about adding an ochre or a yellow into that. If you have lighter skin, again, also think of adding ochre into that, and maybe even an orange or even a light brown into that skin. Even a teeny bit of pink, but maybe not too much. So again, don't forget your proportions of your face. You're only drawing half a face. I don't care which side you draw your face. You might want to actually draw it over here. It's up to you. But I do want you to outline and include a lot of black in that background. And I hope you enjoy this project. I can't wait to see all of your beautiful self-portraits. Bye.